So a bit about me, I've studied English since junior high, but academic reading and writing have always been my weakest areas. So my goal this semester was to strengthen these skills and build confidence in academic context. So one small story, during a group discussion in week 3. So I released it, I hesitated to share ideas because I felt my academic vocabulary was limited. So that sparked my commitment to create writing structures. So now that you know who I am and why I impact on this junior, so let's dive into the weekly things, starting with reading structures. So, in week 1 and week 2, we learned about scanning, skimming, deep reading, and reflective note-taking. So although I structured at first, repeated readings helped me capture keywords. So these are more ideas and make the reading task more efficient. I use a color-coded headlines example and read for arguments, blue for examples, and green for the scholar's point of view, which saves me about 30% of my reading time on the first assessment. So I also learned to use a structured notice template to summarize each graph in a single instance. Having boosted my reading efficiency, let's move to weeks 3 to 4, and where pre-writing framework took center stage. In week 3 and 4, we practiced brainstorming through pre-writing and mapping and outlining. I used MindMaster software to create a mind map centered on my central argument surrounded by 4 sub-arguments. This visual framework simplified my outlining process and ensured that my IC was logically clear. So we're brainstorming for my week 4 IC. I found that the 5 minutes of rewriting allows me to find a new perspective and compare the arguments of the 2 authors with my thesis. So with a slide outline, I was ready to describe and critical in detail in weeks 5 to week 6. So in week 5 to week 6, our focus was on learning to write descriptively, writing objectively, representing data and process, and writing critical reviews. So critical reviews helped me to evaluate evidence and construct balanced arguments. So in the critical review, for example, I compared the 2 articles and noted how the similar simple size of one of the articles weakened its conclusions. I recorded these observations in a 2-column table, strength on the left and weakness on the right. So next, we practiced our analytical reading skills in week 7 to week 8, focusing on separating facts from opinion. So in week 7 and week 8, we discussed between fact and opinion and practiced reading to improve my analytical reading skills. I learned to recognize the motivators such as mind and stress to identify opinions. So on the quiz, I misreading a sarcastic comment by the author as fact. So however, after discussing it with my peers, I learned to take off the modifiers such as mind and structures. After mastering my reasoning skills, I've been evaluating and gathering readable sources in weeks 9 and 2 weeks 10. I learned how to assess the credibility and relevance of sources, which stretches my research and helped me write an organized literature review. So I created three-column tables, authors, methods, and key findings. To compare five studies, this visualization tool improved my efficiency and discipline in drafting my research paper. So with readable source, we spent the last few weeks learning to build arguments and reader summarize. So in weeks 11 to weeks 14, we practiced writing, pursue with exercises with clear evidence. Creating infographics taught me how to present complex data visually and concisely. I summarized the result of survey on students' reading habits into a bar graph and a pie chart. So this infographic was present in a presentation to my classroom. So I enjoyed presenting and explaining. Doctors would listen to my thoughts and ideas, so I'm thankful to my teacher for giving me this opportunity and making me enjoy learning. So after reviewing all the topics, let's reflect on our two main assessments. So in assessment 1, this was a group assessment, a critical review in which I learned how to mix writing on objective academic formats and with a group to work together to improve communication and problem-solving skills. So although I encountered some difficulty in communication, such as group members' disagreements, we eventually harmonized and supported each other, showing the subsequent moderation and communication in the group chat. So when a group member didn't understand something, I would give positive help and advice. So explained the structure to him and helped him to complete it. So I remember our group revised the draft 3 times. Removing subjective adjectives, I also took doctor's advice and put our why arguments at the front of each graphic and described it briefly in the introduction. So I rehearsed in front of my friends and typed each section to stay within the prescribed limits. So in assignment 2, it's an individual assignment. I was having trouble writing the case study and did not understanding what to do and couldn't figure out exactly how to go about it. So I was able to understanding and refine my case study by asking my doctors and classmates. So and for the video presentation, I had my friends help me practice the pacing by rehearsing it in front of my friend and timing each section to stay within the time required for the assignment. So now let's summarize the key takeaways from this journey. So to summarize, prior to this class, I was particularly confused about academic writing. For example, was always unsure of the purpose format of approach. So in this case, class I learned that active reading coupled with pre-writing preparation can improve writing skills. So critical evaluation and evidence support can make arguments more persuasive in graphics, and visualization can improve clarity, and continuous reflection can promote continuous growth. So what I learned in this class will continue to guide me in my future academic endeavors. So thank you